In this video I will take a look at the new profiles included at the new Gondor at War book for the Middle-earth strategy battle game. Hello and welcome to yet another video here on the YouTube channel STF Wargaming Studio. My name is Andreas Norwegian Viking and this is my review of the new profiles included in the Gondor at War book for the Middle-earth strategy battle game. And we kick right off with Minas Tirith. So over the past few months we've seen new models arrive from Forgeworld, and these models of course have a place in the new fantastic book Gondor at War, which I did a full review on. I did a oversight review of the whole book, but now I'll take an in-depth look at the new profiles. So you've seen some of these on the Forgeworld website, and I haven't really researched if they changed from the beta profiles released on the Forgeworld page, but I'll give you the full spread. So first off we have Ingold, Warden of Rammas. So he's a number of points, and he's man, Gondor infantry hero and a hero of fortitude. He's got move 6, fight 4, 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 7, 2 attacks, 2 wounds and 4 courage. He's got 3/1/1 for might, will and fate. He carries heavy armor, sword and shield. And I must say, the shield design is inspired. If you take a look at the middle of the shield, that is Minas Tirith. And it really explains a lot of cool stuff about the way they arrange their armies. His heroic abilities are heroic strike and defense. He has shield wall special rule, boosting his defense to 8. He's got the Resolute Fighter passive ability, which is Ingold and friendly Gondor warriors within 3 inches of Ingold do not back away if they lose a fight. Their opponent must back away instead. So very cool rule, which is very similar to his flavor and his army role. And he's fairly cheap. I'll not reveal what points is, but he's not many points over a normal captain of Gondor. So then you have Eorlas, captain of the guard. He's the same amount of points as Ingold. He's man, Gondor infantry hero and hero of fortitude, so he can lead 12. He's got move 6, fight 5, 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 4 courage and 3/1/1. He's got heavy armor and sword, heroic march and heroic defense, and he's got the bodyguard special rule. In addition, he's got the defend the white city active ability, which is Eorlas may use the shielding special rule even if he's not armed with a shield. If Eorlas elects to shield and wins the ensuing fight, he may make a single strength 4 strike against 1 enemy model from the same fight. So it's basically Thorin's Oakenshield special rule. And it's quite awesome. So both of these heroes are defensive heroes so far, and they add different things. So of course the heroic defense being the same for both, but of course Eorlas having the benefit of being a bodyguard, but then you have Ingold being shield wall. So it's quite different takes on the same thing, and I really like that option to have that. Then you have Hurin the Tall, Warden of the Keys, man, Gondor infantry hero and hero of valor, so he can lead 15 warriors, and he's quite a few points over Eorlas and Ingold, but is still fairly cheap. Is well under 100, so that should be where you can expect him to be. He's got basically the same stat line as Irras, but with +1 courage. His move 6, fight 5, 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, and 5 courage, with 3/1/1 might, will, and fate. He carries heavy armor and the Warden sword, which is an active ability. This is a Master Forge hand-and-a-half sword, so he basically has burly without having, and can use it two-handed without the penalty. So why wouldn't he ever? He's got Heroic Resolve, Strike, and Strength. So he's the antithesis of these other two heroes, which are defensive heroes. He's a very, very much aggressive hero, and he can take a horse. He's got 2 special rules. First one, active ability in defense of the king. Whilst he's within either 3 inches of Denethor or Aragorn, King Elisar, Hurin gains the Fearless special rule and may reroll a single d6 when making a dual roll. So basically, he has a banner. And Line of Command, which is a passive ability. If the leader of your army is a Gondor hero, then whilst Hurin the Tall is alive and on the battlefield, your opponents can score victory points for slaying the enemy leader. And this is very, very good. Very, very good. So, and it also does a very, very interesting thing, which is normally you would either take a very, very combat heavy hero in your army to, and more than likely being a legendary or hero valor hero, you would take him as your army leader. But then you have the problem that he charges forwards and he probably takes some wounds, giving away VPs. But if you have 2 combat monsters, that increases your chance of not losing those VPs with the Line of Command special rule. Because as long as Hurin the Tall is not dead, that makes it so that those wounds mean nothing, or that slaying your enemy, your general, means nothing. But then again, if you take a more passive hero, like for instance Denethor, which would be your general in a normal Middle-earth army, if you don't include Aragorn King, you could also have him, such as if you are unlucky and he's dead, as long as Hurin is alive, it means nothing. So it's actually a very, very cool rule. So that is Minas Tirith basically done, and with that the fiefdom as well, because the fiefdoms doesn't add any new heroes, although I would like them to be. I am still waiting for, I did believe these would be included in the book, and that would be Hirlin the Fair and his warriors of Pinneth Gelin. So sad that they didn't see the rules being published, because I have heard rumblings about those rules being through playtesting, but sadly it was not to be. Maybe in a future supplement, I hope. Then we have Rohan, and for Rohan you have more heroes incoming. So these add basically 3 new heroes as well. One of them we have under a different name, which is Dunharrow. Then you also have, sadly without pictures of the models, that means they probably at the point of printing this book wasn't done, and it can mean that they are still not done and might come out later. But for now, conversion work will be your friend. So you have Dunharrow, which is woman, Rohan, cavalry hero, and miner hero. For number of points, way more expensive than Eowyn. Spoilers, because this is Eowyn. But she has a fantastic boost in stats. So she is move 6, fight 5, 4+ shoot, strength 3, defense 5, 3 attacks, 2 wounds, and 5 courage, with 2/2 for might, will, and fate. And goes into to tell you a bit about her profile, because this is a kind of a interesting one. So, spoilers, note that Dunharrow is in fact Éowyn, and that Merry mounted on a horse alongside her. If your army includes Dunharrow, then it may naturally not include Éowyn or Merry in any other variety. Dunharrow is a special profile that enables you to use Éowyn and Merry together as depicted in the movies and books, and even allows you to use the passenger rule for this pair in match play games, so the very first time you get to use the two models as one profile. Dunharrow is Éowyn Shield Maiden of Rohan with armor and shield, with Merodach Brandybuck Knight of the Mark with shield mounted as a passenger upon her horse. Both will always start mounted and together. Whilst mounted, Dunharrow will follow all the rules provided on these pages rather than the ones presented in Éowyn's profile. However, should Dunharrow become dismounted, revert to the profile and wargear listed for Éowyn and use them from this point onwards. Any wounds suffered, might will or fate points spent by Dunharrow will carry over to Éowyn's profile. For wargear, she has armor, shield, sword and horse, so she gets the horse included in her profile and has the option for a throwing spear in addition. For heroic abilities, she's got heroic resolve, strike and strength, so very aggressive powers. And she's got expert rider, horse lord and Merry. Merry follows the rules for passenger as presented in the main rules manual, with the exception that whilst he remains Dunharrow's passenger, he may spend his might points to declare heroic actions and affect Dunharrow's rolls in any of the usual ways. Additionally, whilst Merry is a passenger, Dunharrow also gets the benefit of his resistant magic special rule, very key, and if Merry is slain or dismounts, reduce Dunharrow's attacks value to 2. So, a combined profile with loads of perks, but obviously is prone to the horse being taken away. But in addition, she has the Horse Lord special rule, which makes her use or can use her fate points to save the horse, and with the addition of resistance to magic, this is a wonderful combined profile, and something I would really like to see played on the battlefield using this combined profile, because it really adds so much fluff to the game. So it's a wonderful profile and I really like it. Next profile is Elfhelm, Captain of Rohan. Man Rohan, infantry hero and hero of fortitude. So he's a number of points, a few points cheaper than Dunharrow. Same points as Irlas, by the way. And he has armor, sword, shield and throwing spears, plural, in this option. Well, same goes for everyone else, I believe. And it's move 6, fight 4, 3+ shoot, strength 4, defense 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, and 4 courage with 3/1/1 for might, will, and fate. Heroic accuracy and heroic defense. Horse as an option, expert rider and horse lord, and pinpoint accuracy active power. So Elfhelm may reroll to hit, 2 wound and in the way rolls when using a throwing spear. Additionally, Elfhelm never suffers a -1 penalty for moving and shooting when using a throwing spear. So, shooty Rohan captain, but just with the throwing spears. So I'm a bit conflicted on this profile, because as a profile in itself, it's not that much expensive than a normal captain. You get the additional might point, and you get the bonus of the heroic accuracy, so you can use that for the ring of throwing spears you would have accompanying him. But to make him really stand out, I would probably have him have cost a few more points, but have a aura rule that also lets pinpoint accuracy benefit all the other models around him. So like a 3 or 6 inch bubble that applies to all throwing spears. That would make him really fantastic. He's still not a bad hero, and I've yet to play test him at all, so I might be eating my words, and this might be very good. But I do think that he probably could have like an aura thing around him. So tell me in the comments if you disagree, but that's my opinion. And lastly, for Rohan, you have Deorwine, King of the King's Knights. Well, King, I say Chief of the King's Knights, more accurate. He's Man Rohan infantry hero and hero of fortitude, and costs a few more points than Deorwine. Same points as Elfhelm, really. Move 6, fight 5, 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 7, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, and 4 courage. Has 3/1/1 for might, will, and fate. Has heavy armor, sword, and shield. Heroic march and heroic strike. Has the option for a horse, expert rider, bodyguard, and horse lord. And for Theoden, special active power. If Theoden is engaged in a fight within 12 inches of Deorwine, then Deorwine may call heroic combat without using might. If the heroic combat is successful, then Deorwine must use the following move to join Theoden's combat. If this is not possible, then Deorwine must move as close as possible to Theoden. So, fantastic, cool rule, which again has stacking ability with Theoden. So all of these things now work in concert, and it adds basically a King's Champion for, like the dwarves have for Rohan. And again, aggressive hero, and has march. You can use this to get all the heroes and the cavalry closer to the enemy without taking an unnamed captain. So I really like him. I think that would be a good addition to any army worthy of Rohan. So that was Rohan done. Next up we have the Dead of Dunharrow, and this army is exactly the same as depicted in the armies of the Lord of the Rings, but it adds a new profile, which is Heralds of the Dead, which is spirit, infantry, hero, and hero of fortitude. So that actually can lead 12 riders or warriors of the dead. He costs a fair bit of points. Pardon, it's been a long day. And he's move 6, fight 4, 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 7, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, and 6 courage, with 0 might, 3 will, and 2 fate. He has armor, sword, and pennant of the dead, which is a friendly spirit model within, well, not a, but all friendly spirit models within 3 inches of the pennant of the dead gain the resistant to magic special rule. So that adds some cool defense against magic. Like the King of the Dead is, although he has a fair bit of will points, is fairly easily shut down by magic if you spam enough rates on him. But having the resistant to magic rule again gives it a boost. He has the option for a shield, which boosts his defense to defense 8. And why wouldn't you take that? But he has no additional heroic abilities. Had to cheat there because my mind is blown. But he has the Blade of the Dead and Terror Special. Of course he doesn't have additional heroic abilities because he doesn't have any might points, although in certain scenarios he could gain might points. He's got Spectral Walk, of course, because all models of dead have movable water, and the King's Council. If the King of the Dead is within 3 inches of one or more Heralds of the Dead at the start of any phase, the King of the Dead can spend one of the Herald's will points to declare a heroic action instead of spending one of his own might points. Heralds of the Dead also benefit from the King of the Dead the King of Dead's the Dead and the Living special rule. So very cool model, and it's really powerful. I think I really like this to add to the way this army works, and it has been proven to actually work in tournament settings. But in addition, using this model for the one of the armor lists, the Legendary Legion armor list I will talk about in my next video, with 3 very mighty heroes, that's just going to push it over, not over the edge, but it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this army list pans out. So I really like the Heralds of Dead, something we've been wanting for ages now, a proper character to add to the Dead of Dunharrow. And you don't need that many, so you could still have a pure Dead army list with non-hero led warbands, plus these two profiles for the heroes. So wonderful addition. Now we come to Mordor, which also adds 3, well, basically 4 heroes. I say 3 because I count Goroth and Gothmog for 1 for some odd reason. So we've seen Goroth and Gothmog's Enforcer on the Forge rule page. So Goroth's Master of the Reserves. Cost a fair bit of points for an Orc hero, but he's pretty cool. Orc Mordor infantry hero and hero of Fortitude. He's got move 6, fight 4, 5+ shoot, strength 5, defense 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds and 3 courage with a 3/1/1 for might, will and fate. He carries heavy armor, 2-handed pick and sword. So he's one of those who has both 2-handed and 1-handed options. He's got just Heroic March as an ability, which ties in very, very nicely to a special rule, which is Master of Reserves. In scenarios where you roll for additional forces derived, such as those of the reinforcement rule, you may modify the reinforcement rule for Goroth's warband by +or -1, and if it's already on the board, then all the warbands in your army that may also modify the reinforcement rule by +or -1. In scenarios where you roll to see which part of the board warbands deploying, you may modify the roll for +/-1. So this is basically the army rule for the Iron Hills, and a fantastic addition to the way you could play in. This is a nice model to have in match play scenarios, because many of them use the Maelstrom battle, and it really adds to the tactics of that. He's a nice hero for his points anyway, but this just adds to it. Then you have Gothmog's Enforcer, same amount of points as Goroth's, Orc Mordor infantry hero and hero of Fortitude. He's got move 6, fight 4, 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds and 3 courage, with a 1/3/1 for might, will and fate. Carries heavy armor and sword, has heroic defense as his heroic ability, and Gothmog's right hand passive ability is his special rule. If Gothmog's Enforcer is within 3 inches of Gothmog, at the start of the turn, Gothmog may spend 1 of Gothmog's Enforcer's will points to declare a heroic move, instead of spending 1 of his own might points. So really saves on Gothmog using his own store for his heroics. In addition, that the Gothmog's Enforcer doesn't lose his might point, he rather uses his will points, which I really like. He would be a very interesting choice to take in an army, and I think like the trio in a pure Mordor army would be very cool to see. Then we have the 2 new heroes. So we have Zagdosh, Orc Chieftain, for a number of points, exactly the same as Goroth and Gothmog's Enforcer, in fact. So cheap-ish heroes for Mordor, all 3 of them. So he's move 6, fight 4, 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 5, 3 attacks, 2 wounds and 4 courage. So 3 attack Orc hero, with 3/1/1 for might, will and fate. He's got armor and 2 swords, henceforth why he's got 3 attacks. He's got heroic strike and strength, and he's got the reckless fight special rule, which is an active ability. At the start of a fight involving Zagdosh, before any dice roll, Zagdosh may choose to decrease his defense by 1 and increase his strength by 1. The effect lasts until the end of the fight. So using this rule, so I would use this rule sparingly. He is a glass cannon. So if he reduces defense to 4 but strength to 5, it would greatly increase against certain defense tiers how much he needs to wound. So with 3 attacks he could be pretty certain to take out 1 defense 7 model, needing a 5+ when using a special rule, and he's got 3 attacks, so he will probably win or at least tie the fight. So I think this is a very, very cool and narrative hero to play as well, because all these named heroes so far in this book have had wonderful fitting rules that adds a different aspect to each of their armies. And no model, I think, in this book has a more inspired special rule than the last Mordor model we're going to talk about, which is Goroth, Captain of the Morannon, which is a hulking amount of points for an Orc Captain, but I think you'll see why in a bit. He's move 6, fight 5, 5+ shoot, strength 5, defense 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds and 4 courage. So 4 courage here as well. 3/1/1 for Mighty Woman Fate. He's got heavy armor and a 2-handed mace. He's got Heroic Strike as his special ability, as well as Burly. So always 2-handing with strength 5 is absolutely stunning. He'll wound on 4+ against defense 7 and 5+ against defense 9. So he's very, very cool and powerful even against like defense 5, which is fairly common. He will wound on 4s. But his main point in taking him is basically to have an immortal orc, because he is a bully. He's burly and a bully. So he has the Come Here Maggot special rule, which is an active ability. Each time Goroth suffers a wound, that will cause him to be slain after fate points have been spent, and that has been confirmed as optional fate points. He may roll a d6. On a roll of a 2+, Goroth may select a friendly Mordor Orc model within 1 inch and thrust it in harm's way instead of himself. Selected model will suffer the wound instead of Goroth. Models that suffers this wound this way may not benefit from Fury magical power, but may use fate points as normal. So the way I picture this is having Goroth in the big center and having a couple of spearmen behind him and a couple of orcs with spear supports in ranks around him, and then having an orc shaman who's cast channeled fury. So first he could use his fury special rule, and then after his 1 wound, so you'll always just take the wound like you do in like some scenarios and match play and most narrative, because that makes it more interesting. And then you have the choice, so you can use his fury save first, and then you have the choice of having a 4+ fate save, but the very, very possibility that I'll die if you don't have enough might points, that'll happen anyway. Or instead having a 2+ roll up, which you can use might on, can't, where he will die and basically lose out on his fate point if he hasn't used it before, but you'll lose an orc in the process. So you'll take a spare support or a spare support of the orcs or a frontline orc, whatever, and he can use that as many times as he wishes. Very, very cool hero, but then again on a nat 1 he fails. That will be very sad to see, but it's very, very cool. Not as situational as you wanted to, because you could basically steer it towards having both your fate point active and using the special rule, and not using the fate point, that is. So I really like the inclusion of this one, and he's a beast. He's a combat beast. So then we come to the Serpent Horde, which adds 1 new model to this army list, which is Raza, Fang of the Serpent. He goes a fair bit of points for a man, and he's man, Harad, infantry hero and hero of fortitude. I am wondering how this model will look, because they're not sculpted this model, as of the time of printing this book, that is. We might see him soon, and we might not see him for some time or at all. But I'm so very curious to see how this model will look. He has armor and spear, so he's got very, very sparing equipment, but he's got heroic abilities of heroic strike and challenge, and his stat line is 6 move, 4 plus shoot, 4 fight and 4 plus shoot, strength 4, defense 5, 3 attacks, so again a 3 attack hero, 2 wounds, 5 courage and 3/1/1 for his might, will and fate. He's got Bane of Kings, as well as Sworn Protector Suladan, and the Serpent's Weapon active ability. At the start of the game, secretly select one hero model in your opponent's force to be Raz's target and write it down. At the start of a fight, Raza is engaged with his target. You should then reveal this to your opponent. Raz's fight value is increased by 2 for the duration of the fight. So this will be as I read this, it's every single fight phase that Raza is engaged after you reveal it. And then you'll go up to fight 6, which basically is above most heroes in the army. So you can have him hero hunt a mid-tier hero and be higher, which is absolutely fantastic. Or you could use him as, like, if you have a model with possibly, I'm not too sure if this is possible when using this army. If you want to lose the armor bonus, it's possible, but to have, like, is there an Elven Blade? I guess if you take like the alliance with, possibly with Can, because they have Elven Blades in there, to then win drawn fights on 3s. I can't remember off the top of my head if this is possible or not, but that would be awesome. Then you have Harad, which adds 1 new model, which we already have covered from the well, we already got the model from Forgel, which is the Murmuk War Leader. And I don't think I've talked about him earlier, which is a huge amount of points, but he's a hero of legend. He's Man Mahud, infantry hero and hero of legend. But he comes with armor, long-bladed spear, and the Royal War Murmuk. So it's move 6, fight 5, 3 plus shoot, strength 5, defense 5, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 6 courage, 3/2/2 for might, will and fate. So he's a big hero. His long-bladed spear is the unusual weapon, can be used as either a spear or a 2-handed weapon. Wonderful. Royal War Murmuk. The Murmuk War Leader rides into battle using his Royal War Murmuk. It has gnarled hide, sigils of defense, and tusk weapon upgrades already included. Additionally, the Royal War Murmuk has a fight value 5, which is key rather than 4. And the Murmuk War Leader replaces the Mahud Beastmaster Chieftain and is placed in the same manner as the Mahud Beastmaster Chieftain. Tongue twist that. Additionally, the Murmuk War Leader may include Harad Warriors in its harder, as if it were from the Harad army list, and not lose its bonus. As if they were from the Harad. So then you can depict them as they are in the movie, which is pretty cool. He's got heroic march, strike, strength and challenge, so marching big Murmuks, having several of them in line, just crashing in, trampling all over the models. Imposing presence, whilst mounted on his Royal War Murmuk, the first time each turn that an enemy model declares a heroic move within 12 inches of the Murmuk War Leader, roll a d6. On 4+, the heroic move is immediately cancelled and any might points spent and in declaring this are lost. Whilst the Mummic War Leader is a top user role, War Mummic measure the range of this special rule from the Mummic's base. This is also interesting, so it is a 50-50 chance of basically losing the point. And as such you would have to but it is the first time each turn at an enemy model, so you could spend 2 might points to have 2 heroes declare heroic moves to basically achieve this. But it's a 50-50 for the first one, so it's a cool way to make your opponent spend multiple points might. But then also the Mummic War Leader can spend a point of himself to basically have that being a roll-off as well. So it's very, very cool. And he's of course the High King of the Mahud. At one point I think this model was called the Rangi, High King of the Mahud. The range of the Mummic War Leader standfast is 12 inches rather than 6. Additionally, models from the Mummic War Leader's warband may deploy 12 inches rather than 6, even outside the Howdah if they wish. Whilst the Mummic War Leader is a top Royal War Mummic, measure the range of this special rule from the Mummic's base. This model is a beast, and I really think that he kind of makes a 1000-point list with 3 Mummics viable in some way. Not get many models, but it would be very interesting to see. Very, very cool. The Corsairs of Umbar add a new hero as well, a named hero, which is Delgamar the Gate Master of Umbar, which is again a fair bit of points for a man, but he's a mid-range hero. So he's a move 6, fight 5, 3+ shoot, strength 4, defense 5. Again, 3 attacks, 2 wounds, and 4 courage. For a 3/1/1 might, will, and fate. He carries armor, sword, whip, and throwing dagger. So a fair bit of war gear on this one, and has the ability of heroic strength. And he's got one special rule, which is Ruthless Commander, active ability. Whilst friendly Corsair warrior models within 3 inches of Delgamar may choose to reroll a single die using during a duel roll. However, if Corsair models makes this reroll and fails to win the duel roll, they immediately suffer a strength 2 hit, which I think is really, really cool. Makes them basically throw themselves at the enemy. And he can also do quite a bit of cool stuff with his whip, if he so chooses. He's outnumbered and stuff like that. So really, really cool. And that's all the new profiles we have in this book. So some of them we've seen. We've seen 5 of them before. But there are a total of 3 for Gondor, 4 for Rohan, 4 for Mordor, 1 for Umbar, and 1 for the Army of the Dead, and 1 from the Harad list, and 1 from the Serpent Horde list. So it's a fair bit of heroes we haven't seen before, and I think every single one of them is a choice. I haven't seen a profile in this book that is not a choice for me when I'll play that army as pure army. And in the next video I will go on to check out the Legendary Legions in their full, to see whether these Legendary Legion as well are a choice in match play scenarios, and they definitely, for me, is the fluffy choice. So I'll see you in a very short bit with my review of the Legendary Legions. Until then, I've been Andreas, Norwegian Viking, and this has been my review of the new profiles from the Gondor Warbook for the Middle-earth strategy battle game. Please comment, like, share and subscribe, and do consider supporting STF on Patreon using the link in the description below. It is a fantastic way for you to support efforts here at the channel, and it gives us monetary means to expand, improve, and give you more videos each and every week. So if that's at all interesting, click the link, but more importantly, support your hobby.